Alright, what's up everybody and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Gearbox Legendaries. For those who somehow don't know, Gearbox added 6 new Legendaries to the game with the release of the Game of the Year Enhanced Edition. At first glance they seem really cool and very exciting. New weapons being added to the Borderlands games is always fun, until you find out how shitty these guns are. And so for this particular video, I'd want to go back to some of my earliest content on this channel and go over these weapons again. Instead of having each of these Legendaries their own video, we're just going to compile them all together in this one big video. Before we start, I do want to go over how you can actually acquire these weapons. You can start a new character if you're logged into the Shift, the Golden Key Chest in Firestone or New Haven, get them via world drops like in Skagzilla, and then, of course, Cromarax and the Armory. By this point, we all know what these guns are. We have the epic Silent Knight, the amazing Sucker Punch, the weirdly attractive Hive Mind, and then the other ones. And with these weapons combined, they join forces to make the almighty Captain Pile of Shit. But shit with glitter dusted on top because these are pretty good but for the wrong reason. So let's talk about it. Starting with the Mugshot, it has nothing of value compared to the other combat rifles similar to it. Something like the Doll Raven has a burst count of 5 compared to the 3 bursts the Mugshot has. This gun also comes with a ×1 explosive elemental multiplier, which is also outclassed by other combat rifles. But what the Mugshot does have going for it is the over 500 damage and the 95.3% accuracy. So this is a powerful gun, there were just better options. The Mugshot isn't the worst weapon because you can dispose of enemies fairly well if you're aiming for crits. And if you're running a Roland build with Metal Storm, you can boost the damage and fire rate of this gun for a short amount of time. Overall, this one isn't the worst, especially if you hit your crits, but I'd find an upgrade for this gun as soon as you're able to. 5 out of 10. The Violence is the revolver of the group. The 818 max damage is unfortunate, and the 2.0 fire rate is decent. The 94% accuracy is pretty good, especially for the revolver class having the plus 100% crit damage. With the element always being explosive, it gives it more power than if it had like fire or shock, which I think is good. Characters like Mordecai can use this weapon for fire rate, and Brick can use this for more explosive damage, which I think is really cool. Like the Mugshot, the Violence can be outclassed pretty easily. However, I like this more than the Mugshot, plainly because you can do more with it depending on what character build you're going for, which is a plus in my opinion. 7 out of 10. Oh boy, the Silent Knight. This is by far the best weapon out of the bunch. This weapon gives an astounding 800% critical bonus, beating the previous champ, the Pearlescent Bessie, with its 500% crit. The 800 bonus crit goes really well with the accuracy of this sniper. 97% accuracy is really good for a sniper, but what makes this gun just so much better than the rest of the snipers is that it will go where you're fucking pointing at. In later games this isn't an issue, but in the first game it very much was. How many times have you tried to snipe a bandit from a decent distance away, only to somehow miss even though your crosshairs were dead center on that guy's head? Luckily it's not an issue with this sniper. The scope for this weapon leaves something to be desired. Thanks in part that all of these guns have fixed parts, you can't get a better scope or magazine. Which is dumb because having open parts can make this sniper, or even all of the Gearbox Legends, that much more balanced, and not a pain in my ass when I see Cromarax drop the same fucking gun 20 times. Overall, the best weapon out of the bunch, and I have fun exploding heads with it. 8.5 out of 10. Taking a look at the Sucker Punch next, you can see via the weapon card that this gun has 500% melee bonus. Okay, I guess the Reaper is replaced. No need to try to get that item anymore, just like with the Silent Knight. You can just start the game with the best gear. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Apparently, Gearbox doesn't know a damn thing about gear progression. Oh. Yeah, well, that checks out. Looking at the card, you can see that this gun has a fire rate of 10.8, which is strange to see on a repeater like this because it doesn't exist anywhere else in the game. Which means that you could use this weapon conventionally, like I am here. If that was the intention by Gearbox, why didn't you add a better iron sight, or one at all? If you can get past that and remain semi-close range with this pistol, it should serve you well. I would definitely get a new shooty pistol and keep this one just for melee. 6 out of 10. Baja's Bigger Blaster is a reference to one of my favorite characters, TK Baja Blast. Except in this gun, you don't have to deal with those obnoxious wavy bullets and just get regular shots. What I find particularly strange about this gun is the 150% bonus melee damage. Like, why did we need 2 melee weapons, Gearbox? This gun could have been better with a different effect than just a melee modifier. At least if you don't like the slower but more powerful sucker punch, you can go with the faster but weaker, bigger blaster melee damage. One little issue I have with this weapon is the recoil. If you're taking your time and aiming your crits, you can take out enemies rather quickly. It's when you're firing repeatedly toward enemies where all you see is the ceiling or the floor, and this can cause you to miss your shots and potentially go down to fight for your life. Other than that, I have no issues with this gun. The recoil is a learning curve which you can learn pretty quickly. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely the strongest weapon of the group, the Hive Mind sits at a whopping 5,722 max damage. Now the issues I have with this launcher don't apply to just this particular weapon, but to all. Launchers in the entirety of BL1 Enhanced have more damage but half the fire rate. And if you have a burst launcher, like how the Hive Mind is, it's slow as shit. Not only that, but the radius of the explosion is massive. So if you aim just a little bit too close, you're going to blow yourself up. And I've done that too many times. To use this weapon efficiently, you're going to have to keep your distance from whatever you're shooting at, and you're going to have to reload or melee to cancel the other 2 shots from being fired. You can use the 3 burst to your advantage. If you have Brick or Roland as your character, both can get bonus damage, but fire rate is the key. Roland can activate his Metal Storm skill and melt a ton of enemies at once, and Brick can get bonuses like Revenge, Juggernaut, and Master Blaster to name a few. Besides all that, this weapon, I can't deny the fact that this weapon is extremely powerful, but I die more times than I would like. 6 out of 10. Now that we went over these weapons, I do want to talk about my issues with these. The main issue I have with these guns are the fact they have fixed parts, they're way too overpowered, especially at early game, and Chromorax drops way too goddamn much of them. If Gearbox does decide to do this in the future with a remaster of an older game or with a new game like BL4, they need to be balanced. Having a sniper that does more crit than a Pearl locked at endgame and a pistol that does more melee damage than another really rare pistol to be the first weapons you get in the damn game breaks progression completely. Not only that, but it's lazy. You have 3 out of 6 just flat out replacing harder to achieve gear. The Hive Mind replaces the Redemption, the Silent Knight replaces the Bessie, and the Sucker Punch replaces the Reaper. I mean, as a game dev, wouldn't you want your players to be spending their valuable time playing your game and farming a raid boss hundreds of times before you get the best sniper, pistol, rocket launcher, or whatever the fuck else? I'm disappointed, Gearbox. Do better next time. Alright, that's going to do it for me today, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. I make these videos for you guys, my viewers. What are your thoughts on the Gearbox Legendaries? Are they better than what I set them out to be, or do you agree with me, leaving something to be desired? Alright guys, that's going to be it for me, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!